This episode is brought to you by Michigan Economic Development Corporation. In Michigan, you can have both a rewarding career and a quality lifestyle, with plentiful career opportunities in world-changing, innovating industries, from electric vehicles to clean energy to biotech, with room for advancement no matter where you are in your career. Plus, Michigan offers a welcoming, beautiful, affordable, and inclusive community for all. Live your best life. You can in Michigan. Visit themichiganlife.org.
Welcome to the Instagram Stories for Friday, September 17th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Most of the news has to do with the Facebook files, which is what the Wall Street Journal is calling the giant investigation that they've been doing all this week into Facebook. There are now 5 stories that make up this giant Facebook file, and they all center around Facebook knowing in acute detail that its platforms are riddled with flaws that cause harm, often in ways only the company understands. This reporting is based on a review of internal Facebook documents, including research reports, online employee discussions, and drafts of presentations to senior management. I talked about this a couple of times already earlier this week, but Instagram did a response by Karina Newton, who is the head of public policy, and it's on about.instagram.com. Don't worry, I'll link to it in the show notes. But Karina explains in depth their response, some of which makes sense, and other parts I'm a little on the fence about. To explain those points, I'm actually going to play a clip in a second of head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, talking about some of these points. But before I do that, I want to cover a Wired story. It's time to talk about Facebook research, where they go into a deeper dive explaining the situation and also where the key indicators of problems are. Adam Mosseri, of course, points out the things that Instagram has addressed on the platform, including bullying and being able to hide offensive words and so forth. But in this Wired article, there's a quote from Jeff Hammerbacher, the father of Facebook research, who left the company after only 2 years of working at Facebook. He later explained why, quote, "It was turning from a place to explore to a place to exploit." In another interview, he unleashed a quote that continues to haunt researchers at Facebook. Quote, "The best minds of my generation are thinking about how to make people click ads." End quote. Adam Mosseri went on Vox Media podcast Recode with Peter Kafka. It's a great interview. They talk about a lot of different topics, and they spend quite a while talking about this research and this Wall Street Journal reporting. Here's some of what they talked about.
So, but back to my question, what is a more so you said we're not disputing the fact that they have this data. We don't think they're framing it correctly. I'm trying to give you a way to say, here's the positive version of this data. And to be clear, I think most people who are listening to this podcast have read the article or skimmed it. But just to be clear, I mean, some of the quotes from these slides the journal published, 1 in 5 teens say Instagram makes them feel worse about themselves. Teens who struggle with mental health say Instagram makes it worse. So what are we not getting when we see those quotes from internal slides produced by your employees?
A few different things. It's a few thousand words into the article before they talk about the difference between correlation and causation. And one of the things that we know about negative mental health issues more broadly online is that the most important things are your state of mind when you're using social media and then how you use social media and the interaction thereof. So that's pretty buried in there. Another is a number of those studies we actively recruited teenagers who were struggling with negative social comparison. And so the denominator there isn't all teens or all teenage girls. It's the subset of people who are having active struggles. And so again, there's a selection bias there. But I don't really want to be punching holes in the issue. I think that I have bias, obviously, from where I sit and given my responsibilities. But my read on the article is it was largely one-sided. But I get where they're coming from, and I don't want to really quibble about details. I want to take a look at the overarching narrative, make sure that there's not anything that we have that's a blind spot, find the signal, ignore the noise. It can be uncomfortable to be scrutinized in public, but I think it's fundamentally a healthy thing, and then leverage this as much as I can into helping us move forward.
So I appreciate that you don't want to play media critic. As head of Instagram,
Okay, I'm going to stop there, but that interview is really fascinating. And hearing Adam Mosseri say that those teenagers who reported feeling worse about themselves after going on Instagram were specifically teenagers who were chosen because of having some mental health challenges, I think that's a really interesting point that cannot be understated. But still, I think, and I'm going to make a generalization that is not true, but I think a lot of teenagers can have mental health challenges, so that feels a little bit unfair as well. But anyway, I just want to do the fair and accurate reporting like I'm seeing the Wall Street Journal do, and I think this is a really important issue to keep talking about. For links to everything I'm talking about, including this Recode podcast, the Wall Street Journal reporting, as well as the Instagram blog post in response to it, you can check out the show notes. You can find them on Apple Music or Spotify. That would probably be the best way to find them. I haven't figured out how to do show notes on the smart speaker yet. If you have an Echo Show, they might appear. I don't think so. I'll keep working on that. But definitely check out the show notes for all the links that I'm talking about. Come back tomorrow for more Instagram news, strategy, tips, and more.